100% purely on the neck, is the chances of them failing, ends up being pretty good. So first piece we're going to do is we're going to do just a standard or more traditional. So it used to be cup and saucer. So bring your hand in, this is the choking hand, and then the other one would come in, and so cup and saucer. But I find as I'm playing, I like blades as I'm coming in. So my hand comes in more as a blade, and I like the crook of my thumb right here. If you think about what is the universal symbol for I will kill you, it's the thumb across the throat. Okay, so if I put my thumb pretty much right off of their ear, so I can actually hit it with a little dangly, then the wrist itself is right into the windpipe, and that means I'm going to get a pretty good grip. Okay, so first one we're going to do, we're just going to go from our knees. So I got Dave through here. I'm going to have both arm and head. So as I reach in, don't go beyond. Okay, just put, this is the choking hand going on his head. So literally put it, you can already see my thumb sitting out the other side. I'm not a nice player, so if I can come in and literally grab their chin, I like that. Okay. Then my hand comes through, and then I cup. So like I said, I like literally cupping the chin. Okay. Not nice, but legal. So as I come in, there's my hands going into position. Okay. Now what I'm going to do through here is I'm going to push in, and I'm going to step up onto my left leg. So as I'm here, I'm going to push in, and I'm going to step up onto my left. As I do, I'm going to take my other leg, and I'm going to slide in really close. Okay. So as I've got Dave through here, I'm going to step up in through here. As I step up, slide in. Now through here, I like to lean directly onto his head. So as I begin to sit, I'm going to fall directly onto my head, on his head, and this is where I like to be. Okay. You have to be careful. I used to overpower all of my guillotines. I'm like, superior squeeze. So I would throw myself in, and I would go for it immediately. And all I would end up doing is throwing them over my head. I couldn't even get my guard to wrap up on them.
Right, because you're giving them that.
Because I'm just throwing. Okay. So now what I do is when I'm here, I step in, I scoot in. Now through here, it's almost counter. Okay, I'm falling to my right because that's where his head is. But what's going to be weird is I'm pulling him to my left. So that when we go here, he's not just going this way, because that's where I want your head to land. And what I try to do is, as much as possible, is that first little pull, I try to get your hips to elevate just slightly. So that instead of putting the shin inside, I can kick through and hook. That's why I had half guard. Yep. And that's why I had half guard on you. Okay. But by the time it was done, I had half guard and I had your neck locked up. Okay. So again, as I'm here, there goes that hand. I lock him up, step in. As I'm here, again, this is where it gets kind of weird. I'm going to bring his head to my right, but I'm kind of going to be pulling him. It's weird because you notice your head goes one way, but I'm kind of pulling your hips.
You're pulling my hips that way.
The opposite way. So rather than helping Dave and throw him over my shoulder, which is what I used to do, my crunch is not about trying to pull him. My crunch is all sideways as I go. So I'm never actually pulling. So if anything, what my hands are doing is, as I go this way and I pull him in, I like to hook if I can. Then my hands, I'm sitting up, I'm crunching like I'm doing an oblique, and then my hands themselves are curling. It's like I'm trying to take my hand and bring it up to my chin.
So you're not doing this.
No.
You're doing
So as I'm here, I crunch, and then and then I'm pulling like that.
Okay.
Okay, one more time. So I hook him up, I step in, I step. Now again, when I drop to my right, it feels weird, but I'm kind of pulling him. He feels how, although I'm taking his head to the right, I'm pulling his hips that way to the left, because otherwise, one, he potentially is going to try to jump. I'm prepared to catch him with this leg. If he does jump, he gives me a full hook. The other thing is he's going to try to roll to the opposite side. And again, if I'm giving him that tilt, it's hard for him to roll out the other way. All right, try it a couple times.
The same setup, hand in the throw, drop to your side. If you were to wrap a half guard, it's not to say that the way you're doing it with the crunch and the curl, it's not to say that won't work. It's just in a half guard, you've got other sequences you can use.
Correct, that I like.
All right.
Now, because again, I used to be the guy, I would just go in, put knee shield inside. Okay? I used to go for full guard, and then I started going just knee shield with the leg over the top, preventing it from going here. But then it doesn't prevent it from somersaulting the other way. Okay. So now what we're going to play with is a reverse grip. Okay. And this setup, I would play a reverse grip in this setup. When I play speed, I'm just coming up. I'm a monkey, just coming in. I mean, I can do this in my sleep all day, every day. Okay. When I want speed and attack, this is the other variation we're going to go into. Okay. So if I take my attack hand, okay, again, I'm just a monkey in a football. Like, you give me a chance to grab your head, and I mean, this is how I'm going. Okay, just in through here, boom. Something hits me, boom, come in. I mean, I can do that in my sleep, but it's not the best grip. So this time, because of my setup, I'm going with on Dave. I've got a little bit more space. So this time, my hand's going to come in. Okay, this other hand is coming in this way, just like before. The only thing that's going to happen now is my choking hand is going to turn to go palm to palm, and then bring your hands up. Okay, so just kind of play with that right now. So again, this would be my choking hand. The other hand's going to come in for my taco grip. Okay, now through here, leave the taco grip where it's at, and just turn your thumb down, and there you go. Okay, and now through here, bring your hands up to your chin. Okay, used to do this when I was a kid, just playing around.
So we're here.
And then just bring it straight up. Okay. Now you have to bring it up before I close the gap. Once the gap is closed,
You're not getting
you're not getting up there. But that also means if I can't get it there, you can't get it out. So that's the trade-off. Okay. So I'm coming in. I make my right here. I've already got my space. My hands just went reverse grip. Okay. And now my hands come up to the same position on his neck. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to step up. I'm going to slide in. I'm going to go in.
Before you even hit the floor.
And then Dave is power tapping. It gets a deeper bite on the neck. But this is how it always works. Okay. If the setup takes longer, the results should be better. If the setup takes longer, but the results aren't better, what are we doing? If we're only performance-based, okay, and we're not talking about aesthetics and things of that nature, if I've got 4 cars, okay, one car costs me 10 grand and does the same performance as the car that costs 3 times as much, why would I ever pick that one? If we're only performance-based, okay, but if you're telling me that the other one for 3 times the cost gives me 3 times the performance, it makes sense.
Right.
And so extra time always should yield extra results. Because if it's not, then what you're wasting your time on is trying to make it look pretty. Okay, so that other car that's $30,000 versus the one that's 10, that one may have a cool paint job and it may have all this other stuff. It may look really cool, but when we're racing, if they're both cut in the same times, you know, I'm probably going to go with that little $10,000 car because I can race it harder because I'm not worried about a $20,000 paint job. So again, as soon as I come in, I wrap up, boom, there's my hands in that reverse grip, and now my hands are already coming up into his throat. Okay, now through here, I'm stepping in, I'm gonna hop to bring my knee inside. Okay. I'm still gonna do the same thing. I'm still bringing him down to the right, but I'm still technically pulling him to the left. So when he goes here, look how his hips just raised up. That little raising of his hips is me just sliding my foot up underneath and getting my first hook.
The part I'm missing is when you do, so you're here, so there.
Yes, right there.
You're
No. Watch. Roll it under. Yes, right there.
So you're doing that as you drop,
So
or you start that before.
as soon as I reach in, done.
Okay.
Because we're TP'd like this, as soon as I grab your head, I got plenty of space. So my hands can come
I got
in, boom, and I'm here. If I'm playing a more aggressive game and I don't have that opportunity, boom, I'm just gonna go here. But because we're in this kind of TP front headlock position, I can come in and lock. But that's the thing, is once you come in, make your connection, and then bring your hands out. Literally bring them to your own chin. Yes. And you'll feel it. Like, I mean, for me, I feel like it's more locked. All right, let's give it a shot.
All right.
You get to pick and choose which grip that you want. Okay? Again, for myself. When I'm very attack heavy, I go simple. Boom. Just bring the hand up, chin whip, grab a hold, it'll be right on his throat. That's my preference. When I'm going very attack heavy, okay, I'm looking at how much time do I have for all my different setups, and I want to reduce that gap as quickly as possible. So I'm just very quickly, hands in, boom. The one that goes to your throat, I'm already attacking, got the chin whip in play, things of that nature. Okay. Now, I like guard. Guard's cool, don't get me wrong, but I prefer, as much as possible, to be on top whenever possible. So, in most instances, I like to look at with my guillotines that I'm gonna use my guillotine to change the position as well. So, when I got Dave here, oh, look at that, hands already in. The moment they even touched, boom, I was already in. At that moment in time, my chin whip is already in play, and my hands are already in. I'm not even, I mean, could I use the reverse grip? Absolutely. Okay, so as soon as I come in, boom, I've already got him, chin whip engaged. Okay, so now through here, what I'm gonna end up doing is I pick him up and I put that foot out. This is the same setup we've been using so far. The only difference is now is once I put this foot out, is now I'm gonna sit to my right, or sorry, to my left. And as I do, I'm gonna pull Dave with me. So I'm gonna sit, this is just our break fall. Now I'm onto my left hip and I'm pulling Dave with me so that as he goes down, now I'm looking to hook him up. Now what I find through here, I can finish it with my forehead on the ground, but what I like to do is I post so that when I sink my hips, I can put more pressure on his head.
So you're gonna oop that way.
So I'm doing just a break fall, okay? So when we do our break falls, I'm just gonna do it for my knees. So when we do our break falls, my hands are gonna be up. I'm gonna put my foot out, and all I'm gonna do is sit to that caboose. So through here, okay? So now, let's do that same break fall. When I sit though, I'm gonna roll. I'm just gonna roll all the way to my knees. So I'm gonna sit here, boom, and just roll over. So ultimately, this is just a break fall while holding onto your neck, okay? And this is specifically arm in. So in this case, I've been stepping with that leg the whole time, so nothing's changed. The only difference is now is I'm gonna go to the leg I stand up on as opposed to the other one. So I come in, boom, I got a hold of Dave through here. I'm gonna pick him up. There goes my foot. Make my connection through here. I can just go for it through here, but I find so much worse if I can post, which is also the reason why I like the chin whip, so that when I let go with this hand,
It's right there.
my hand is still holding onto your throat, and is still putting pressure. So this is a mounted guillotine. If for some reason the guillotine doesn't work, the beauty is you're on top. So at that point in time, I've got two things in play, both the guillotine and the mount. So I feel good. Like if I can get one versus the other, it's all extra. All right, let's give it a shot.
All right.
If I have the option, I have the chance. Okay, this is where our grip is going to change. But remember, what was the definition? If the setup takes longer, then the results need to be better. Because if the setup is longer, but the results aren't worth it, then what was the point? I mean, who cares? I mean, it can look cool, but man, if it's taking us longer, but it's not really worth it, it kind of sucks. So I'm going to get Dave into the same position. So I hit his head, I come in, this hand now. What I want to do is, as I come in, I want to try to get as much this arm across his body. Now there's a bunch of different ways we can do it. Okay. One is I can come in, I can use this hand and shove, and then I'm going to grip all the way across. So I can come in, push his arm, and I can grip it right here. Okay. I can come in, I can baseball grip, I can mix these up. Okay. Again, kind of the same thing. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shove, and I'm just going to use one grip right on his triceps. And now my left hand has a little bit of freedom. So we're going to come in, shove it across. That arm is already in jeopardy. Okay. So now, when we come into play, we're going to play the same game that we pretty much just did. So as I come in, I'm going to use this to kind of pick his head up, drive into him. Okay. I'm going to come in. Now, this time, I'm just going to slide this knee in. He goes right through here. See how his elbow is getting stuck on my thigh. That's what I want. Okay, that means this hand now can kind of be free a little bit. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing. This leg is going to step up like we did. Okay, and then I'm going to pull my guard just like we did earlier. Now the rule is going to be the same. Now right now I like an S grip. You can change it up. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to slide in. I'm going to lean on his head just like we did, and I'm going to try to pull half guard. That's kind of the preference I like to go into. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to come under, and I'm going to hook. Okay. Then we're going to play the game exactly the same. Crunch on the head, pull my hands up towards the armpit, and go for my tap. Is this your Walmart order, man?
Probably.
So again, I'm going to be in, shove that arm in. I'm going to lift him and step. Now my hands can find each other. Okay. So I'm going to step up. Oh, there goes my half guard. And there goes my guillotine.
That's my favorite. Yeah. As long as you can see your hands on the other side.
Yes.
You know, it's pretty tight.
That's my requirement. I gotta be able to see my fingers. Remember, there are no jazz hands in jiu-jitsu. Okay, let's do it. Just spear fingers. All right, let's try it. In general.
I got you.
All right, so same thing. I've got him in. You push the arm aside. I get him trapped. Again, here's the piece I screw up all the time. My hands don't get deep enough through here. Okay, but again, just like when we did the mounted guillotine, I don't care because my exit strategy to me is as good as, like on the other one, I went for the mounted guillotine. Oops, your head popped out. I'm in mount. I'm okay. Same thing through here. If my hands can't make it all the way out where I can see my spirit fingers, no jazz hands. Okay. If I can't get it here, it's still good. Okay. So now, same thing. I'm going to come in. I've got him trapped in through here. Coming in. I like my half guard. Nope, not working. So then we're going to connect ourselves. I'm going to go into a 200%. Oh, man. Oh, Dave. That sucks, doesn't it? So, again, because in that attempt, what I have is half guard to me is one hook to the back. You got to look at the positives, not the negatives. You got to look at the position you're playing, not what they want to play. And because I've already beaten his elbow, the back is wide open. Now, in this particular instance, though, I go after the 200% not the 100%, okay, preferably. So when I come in, I go from here, I underhook into his arm, pull it to me, grab my own bicep, pull my hand up and grab the back of his elbow. That's the 200%. Then through here, now literally all it is now is I'm holding on. I'm just gonna start arcing my body. I'm not even trying to roll him over, I don't have to. Dave feels it. That tension going into he wants to spin.
You want to move.
Yeah, he wants to move. Let me do it on Tony so you can see Dave. Yeah, he wants to move. He doesn't want to stay there. So I get a hold of him, boom, boom, boom. I step in, okay, with my foo bar. No. Through here. I like to connect. Okay. Then underhook, and then right here. That's the 200%.
Okay.
Now that I'm here, okay, my lower body's connected. You see?
Yeah.
I don't have to roll him.
You feel that all in your shoulder blades. At least that's where I feel it.
As I just arc my hips, I pull back through here and I arc my hip. You see, Tony just wants to spin.
Yeah.
And he'll literally throw himself right into the back take. Now, the reason why the 200% exists is so that if Tony gets like super crazy, he can't just spin out. Because I'm holding onto his tricep. That elbow now, I'm still behind your elbow. So if he starts trying to spin and the elbow gets pushed forward, he doesn't get to just roll through. I just try.